Hi there, and welcome to Celeb Hut. You all now. Marcus emerges to uncover his little boot thing as a gold digger. Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen have been a thing for around 2 years now, and to make sure, we believed that everything was falling perfectly into place for them.
Marcus emerged to uncover that he and Larsa have authoritatively separated. Yet besides the fact that they broke up, Marcus firmly accepts that the main explanation Larsa put continues on him was on the grounds that she needed to get her hands on his family fortune, and she constrained him to burn through a huge number of dollars on her in the 2 years that they dated. He is presently hauling her and calling her out for being a goat digger, so we should get into it. Did he sincerely make a good attempt to get his cash back? So it seems as though there was most certainly inconvenience in heaven between Marcus Jordan and his boo-thing Lara Pippen, on the grounds that they are presently going after one another via virtual entertainment, and insiders are detailing that things are hella muddled in the background, with Marcus guaranteeing that LSA was solely after his cash the whole time. And I don't figure many individuals would be shocked by this news, since we, as a whole, had our misgivings about the relationship from the second we figured out they were a thing. Now these two first to open up to the world about their affection last year, and they promptly began to get a great deal of disdain for it, with individuals in the business, and even fans showing their dissatisfaction with regards to the relationship, yet assuming that you're asking why. Individuals had such a rise of strength for and about their interior relationship, this is on the grounds that they found it very unpleasant, like truly frightening. Now everyone knows that there's an age contrast that sort of appears to be practically unseemly between them, on the grounds that Larsa is an entire walloping 16 years more seasoned than Marcus. Yes, she's noticeably 50, and he's just 33. No doubt, I know they're the two grown-ups. However, listen, 16 years is a ton old enough for an age, raising an entire pack of eyebrows. And yes, it caused a part of upheaval, web-based starting discussions among fans, discussed whether it was okay or the entire thing was simply unusual. A few fans thought it was no biggie on the grounds that men do it all the time, while others believed that something wasn't quite right about their relationship, particularly on the grounds that individuals would have had a peculiar response, assuming Marcus was a lady, dating a man who was way more established, particularly since Marcus and Larsa had known one another when he was a youngster. This was the part that truly had individ. You all's ready to fight on the off chance that you haven't come to an obvious conclusion and showed up at 4. Let me illuminate it for you all. Clearly, Marca is the ex of the previous NBA player Scottie Pippen, that elderly person. And do you all remember who Scottie used to play with in the Chicago surveys during the 90 hours? Yes, Michael Jordan. You know a similar Michael Jordan, who was Marcus's dad, better believe it, that made the relationship thing more odd on the grounds that she most certainly knew him when he was a kid at that point. Scottie and Elson were at that point married, and Marcus was brought into the world at the time. Assuming you know all about the NBA scene, you realize that ball distinctions will more often than not stay together off the court too, no doubt. I realize MJ and Scottie had their issues at that point, and they had been beefing for quite a long time. However, their families would have blended at eventually in their professions. So this implies the Larsa has known Marcus since he was a youngster, and she was a completely developed lady in her 20s. Again, I realize that Marcus is a developed home man now, and he could do anything he desires to. Yet many individuals been feeling a kind of way about these cougars in the business, and how Larsa might have even gotten drawn to somebody that she knew before. He was even in secondary school. Currently, I'm not passing judgment on. I'm simply telling you all what the roads are talking about, and why this relationship has been getting a ton of disdain. Well, the relationship got such an excess of disdain that Larsa had to emerge and reject that she was a misfit who was dating somebody she knew as a kid, saying that despite the fact that their families blended, she never ran into Marcus. She left a remark in her post by the Shade Room saying, "I just met him a long time back. I never knew him or his family. I was 21 years old and in school when Scottie played that 1 year with MJ, and we weren't companions with him." Like everybody thinks, well, it's sort of difficult to accept that Larsa and many individuals didn't buy what she was selling. She had to address the charges again in a meeting with Tamron Lobby, where she guaranteed that she met him for quite a long time prior, interestingly, at a party. Well, like we in a real sense just met at a party, quite a while back. Goodness! As a matter of fact, and we were simply companions since we, as a whole, resided in Chicago. And when did you meet him? Quite a while back, 4 years. Where party at a party? I like a LA party. Did you had any idea who he was at the time? Now again, people simply weren't getting it in light of the fact that the story wasn't frantic. Without even a second's pause, was discussion about how she was trying to say that since they were getting such a lot of disdain cynicism via online entertainment, so she was attempting to cover her cougar tracks now. To be fair, she most certainly expected to cover her tracks, since she was getting a crazy measure of disdain and reaction from everyone anyway. Many individuals accept that she might have stayed away from a great deal of disdain, assuming that she just dealt with things the correct way from the outset. See, when she and Marcus initially began hanging out, she was acting all clandestine. Like she realized she was stepping in dinky waters, and individuals brought up how she wasn't in any event, recognizing the relationship from the get-go. And the main explanation that we learned about the relationship was on the grounds that an insider spilled the tea, saying Lara and Marcus Jordan are nonchalantly hanging out. The two have a ton of similar companions, so they have been around each other a ton and appreciate hanging out. They are having a great time together. Larsa's separation from Scotty was finished toward the start of this current year, and she's partaking in that opportunity. No doubt, Larsa kept on playing coy and denying the relationship, and when she was given some information about her relationship in a meeting, she absolutely denied being with Marcus, guaranteeing that she was only companions with him and that he was her budding individual, adding more to it than there really was. I have a ton of companions. I'm exceptionally friendly. I was blemished for a considerable length of time. This is the time for me to truly focus on my connections. So that is somewhat the very thing that I'm doing. It didn't take long for individuals to get her in that lie, in light of the fact that 2 or 3 days after she denied dating him, paparazzi pictures of them kissing hit the web, immediately became a web sensation, and individuals hammered Lara for an unabashed ling. Now, the fascinating thing about this is that Larsa conceded that she and Marcus initially began hanging out, and she put his name under a phony moniker. There is no doubt that he most certainly doesn't appear to be guiltless, Lars. So, what's going on with that? She said, I would never truly place you under your name on my telephone, so I had you under imprint Jacob. I didn't believe anybody should know when you called me the way that she was so clandestine about it. Even individuals in her deepest circle made it significantly shadier, but she was not set in stone to make fans support the relationship. No holds barred, so she guaranteed that Marcus's father, MJ, was cool with the relationship, and it was all great energies. Have you met Michael Jordan and Juanita Jordan? And what did they say regarding the relationship you realized? I don't actually, obviously I've as of late been spending time with them. However, I would truly prefer not to discuss them. I feel like there's really no need to focus on them. My guardians or his folks, they're all blissful. Our entire family's fine. However, lies. Larsa lies in light of the fact that, for reasons unknown, she could have been extending her lies a smidgen to an extreme. Yet what a tangled web we weaved when we could tower to trick on the grounds that MJ was in Paris half a month after Marcus and Larsa opened up to the world, and the paparazzi hit him with whether or not he gave his approval to Marcus and Larsa. And this is the very thing MJ said. Hello, Mr. Jordan. What is your take on Marcus and Zapepping together? Do you support it? No, you don't endorse it. Better believe it. It was most certainly a terrible look in light of the fact that Larsa looked frantic, and it showed exactly how much MJ opposed the relationship. However, at first, a bit of warmth debilitated the little dog. Marcus hadn't arrived for his father talking on his relationship since he promptly set up for a meeting with E.T., where he attempted to guarantee that everybody misconstrued his father's remarks. He said, I think my family simply needs to see me blissful. Thus, as long as I'm blissful, they're content with it. Where I'm residing. Everyone had an assessment right away. And I think there was some shock and interest from the get-go. However, I believe that was the general purpose of us attempting to hang out? Well, you all. It didn't take long for things to go left for Marcus and Nara. Also, the following thing. We knew they unfollowed each other via virtual entertainment tales began flying about that had separated, and LSA affirmed the bits of gossip when she began tossing conceal on Marcus's Instagram, like this survey on Instagram, where she inquired as to whether it was okay to ask her companions to unfollow her. Yes most certainly muddled, and insiders revealed that Marcus was totally broken about the separation and was destroyed about the entire thing. However, Larsa then again was totally unbothered, and the inner implied that she was about the cash. About the Marcus didn't think it was amusing, in light of the fact that Lara obviously unloaded him on the grounds that the cash wasn't moving in as per his source. Larsa needs a man who is a little more experienced and financially stable. Vargas was fun, however. Larsa is searching for somebody that she can construct an existence with, so it seems like the cash wasn't coming in, so Larsa plunged well. We felt that was the end of the show, yet the next thing we realized was that they had made up again. They even went through Valentine's Day together. However, it's more than this, since it seems as though the separation. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.